All right, folks, it's time for the Malsberg panel. And joining us once again, as he did yesterday, is John Gizzi, Newsmax White House correspondent. And we're joined by the co-author of Eyes on Target, Inside Stories from the Brotherhood of U.S. Navy SEALs. Scott McEwen joins us. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello, Steve. How you doing?
Good. Good to talk to both of you. All right. As we speak, the President of the United States just finished speaking at Fort Hood, a memorial for 3 of the sergeants who were killed in the shooting a week ago tonight at that Army base, and very, very sad. But he's a president who still, how he has the nerve to go back to Fort Hood, how he has the nerve to talk about taking care of people when the first set of victims, as recently, we had one of them on as recently as the other day, still feels betrayed by the President of the United States because they're not getting what they need. The promise was not kept to take care of them because they will not classify the first shooting as a terrorist act, so they're not getting the money and the funds and the recognition they deserve. What about it, Scott?
Well, I think it's well to note that we have 2 different situations here and that the President has blown both. I really believe that as to the first situation, we had a direct act of terror. And I believe that guy was defined per se, and everybody knows it at this juncture, that he was working on behalf of foreign nations and foreign interests in doing that act of terror. And now we have a situation where we have a soldier who it appears, and I haven't made my decision yet, but it appears from the record, was asking for help and was not getting it. And I think that it's really an epidemic we have right now, with not only situations such as this, but all kinds of soldiers returning from with war wounds and with issues that need to be helped. And I really think they need to step up and do their job.
Hello.
What about it, John?
Well, I have to say that the situation is a tragedy. There's no doubt about it. And I do think that with the way that veterans have been overlooked and frankly treated in the last few years through cuts in the defense budget and other matters that were out there, the administration should really have classified the first act as a terrorist act and done for Fort Hood what was required. This is not a pretty picture, but it is one that could have been avoided. I might add that one of the criticisms of the new budget put forward by Congressman Paul Ryan is that it does not cut in any way things that should be going to those who wear the uniform of the United States.
Well, Scott, you said one of the criticisms is that it does not cut or it does cut? John, you said it does not cut?
No, it does. It barely touches.
Barely touches. Well, Scott, that's a touchy subject. Certainly, there were a lot of people really ticked off that John McCain, especially, and other veterans okayed that budget deal a while back that did cut veterans benefits and pensions, even though incrementally or just by a small percentage. They were really up in arms over that.
Yeah, I really believe that. And I am certainly not arguing with you with respect to that, John, but I believe that there was cuts made in this last budget, as to the defense, particularly as to some of these veterans cuts for not only retirement and things of that nature. And let's face something, not only are we having a situation where we have direct medical needs, guys with limbs, separated from their bodies, things of that nature, but we have 10-year veterans returning from war zones. An experience that the United States has never had before, even with our biggest wars, even with our World War I's, our World War II's, our Vietnams. We didn't have that kind of repeated exposure to war zone that we have now. And, there's a lot of guys and a lot of women that do need help. And I just think we need to focus as much as we can on doing what we can to get the proper amount of help to these guys. Because, I've seen it, and I've seen it in the past. And obviously we lost Chris. There's allegations there of PTSD, whereas I don't know that's true or not, but I've had friends of mine that have been directly affected by this, and this is a real issue. This is not something people are making up. This is a situation where we have the money and the recognition.
Yeah. Well, I would say with Scott, we are in agreement. The previous budget deal, one which was supported by a number of veterans, as Steve says, is one that did cut veterans benefits But the current plan, the alternative that Republicans in the House are advancing, barely touches them. In fact, Dana Milbank of the Washington Post notes that this day, in fact, that while Medicaid and other programs are cut and overhauled in some cases, veterans' benefits are barely touched. The Ryan budget offers more for veterans. The previous budget that was done through fiat with both parties in Congress did not.
All right, Scott. Let me. And by the way, we have a copy of the jacket, Scott. A picture of the book jacket, Eyes on Target, which we're putting up right now, so the folks could see it. There it is, and great book. And I think folks really should get it. It gives you a great inside look at what those brave men go through and do for this country every day. You know, we just had Congressman Tim Griffin on, himself a former member of the U.S. Army, and you know, he talked about the need, you know, to take care of these veterans. He says that he believes, you know, there were problems there with this shooter, and that they have to do a better job, really, of finding this out and seeing the warning signs.
Yeah, I would tend to agree
one
with
thing
that.
I would
Let Scott go. Let Scott go, John. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry, John. I would agree with that 100%. And I'm not justifying, I want to be very clear from my perspective. I'm not justifying any act of violence by anybody against anybody I know.
No, of course not.
You know,
yeah.
What I'm saying is that I really believe that there's a group of people out there that need help. And I don't think the VA is properly run or funded or getting to the matters that they need to do to help these guys. And I'm really concerned about it. And I think that we as a nation not only have the ability, but we have the responsibility to help the people that have been fighting for us for the last 10 years for this nation. And, you know, we've got to deal with things here that we've never had to deal with before. We have new ground we're breaking here. I'm not saying we haven't had soldiers returning from war before, because we have, but I do not believe we've had soldiers that have been repeatedly exposed to the battlefield conditions that we have now and that are returning home from that and really not getting that recognition and help.
John?
No, I couldn't have said it better myself. And this is a time when, as Scott certainly knows better than most, major cuts are going to be made within the Pentagon and in the current armed forces. Could they not find it somehow possible to provide for those who've already served in the armed forces and give them something they very much need at this point?
No, that's a very good question. You know, turning the go ahead, Scott.
No, I said well said, John. I agree 100%.
All right, very quickly, we have about 2 minutes left. This stabbing in Pennsylvania today. I don't know. You know, I hear CNN and I read quotes from school officials who say, you know, thank God it was with a knife and not a gun. CNN, one of the commentators said it has a different feel to it because it was with a knife, not a gun. Certainly the damage could have been worse with a gun. However, 20 people were stabbed, 4 of them very seriously wounded. You know, it's a school. A 16-year-old did it. Again, it comes down to, you know, no guns on a base, and here, no guns in a school. You're putting up a sign saying if you're going to try something, try it, Scott.
Yeah, well, you know, first of all, that's what a tragedy. I mean, I have kids in school, and so I can feel for those parents and those people that are dealing with this situation as we speak. All I can say is, you know, as a society, I really think that we've got some major issues that we're going to have to deal with, and this is one of them. This violence in schools and this situation there. I mean, I know my response would be that it's not good any way you look at it. You know, it's bad. You know, maybe your final option is going to have to use a gun to deal with this assailant. I don't know, but I don't even like to look at options when I see such a tragedy.
John, guys, I'm up against a heartbreak. I thank you both. John Gizzi, we'll speak to you in a couple of hours. And Scott, again, the book is Eyes on Target. Thank you very much. We're coming back with Ron Christie, ladies and gentlemen. Don't miss it.